First down, Rams. We are live after a couple weeks hiatus, but thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on the replay or with us live here right now. I'm Payo Time of the Rams Radar, and I'm joined by the one, the only Rams House. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm just in a weird spot of realization that it's like why does this feel so foreign to do the show on a Wednesday night? It's only been a few weeks, but to put things in perspective, the last time we talked was 3 days after the NFC Championship game, and we were still numb from that. Before last time we talked was before we found out Stafford was coming back,
Yeah,
before we found out Mike LaFleur was leaving to the Cardinals, before
yeah,
we found out the whole Robert Woods retirement thing. So there's been a lot that's happened since we've just been on a mini break.
yeah. You're right. It's been wild. It really has been wild, and I've enjoyed the break. It's been cool. I'm in the process of moving, but I am so honored and stoked to be back with you this Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about things that have been happening with the Rams. We have some fun kind of games and activities that we're going to do later on in the show. But all of you, feel free to say hello in the chat. I see 71 squad, 77. Good to see you already there. And we are glad that you are here with us tonight on this wonderful Wednesday. So let's dive right into it. Let's talk about Robert Woods, right?
Yeah.
Bobby Trees. Let's start the show off the way we should. Great, fantastic Ram. I know he didn't finish his career with the Rams, but I do love that he signed a one-day contract yesterday to retire a Ram. I know Bobby Trees is one of your favorite Rams players of all time, so I'm going to give the floor to you. What did that news yesterday mean to you?
Yeah, it was really cool to be able to see that. It kind of came out of the blue. Like it wasn't something that I was like, any point now, Robert Woods may retire and he's going to come to us. And it makes sense that he retired with us because that was like the biggest impact, and a lot of memories came from that. And so really happy that he did that, to be able to sign a one-day contract with us, retire a Ram, because I think that's how everybody's going to remember him. He had multiple stops in his career, but the most memorable spot was with the Rams. And it's cool to see everybody recognizing that, Robert Woods was one of the key guys to turn around the Rams in 2017 with McVay on to where we are now. We wouldn't get to this point without Robert Woods, and we wouldn't be where we're at right now. He was one of those culture guys. I don't know if you saw Cooper Kupp's post today on his Twitter about what Robert Woods meant to him and how Cooper Kupp basically modeled with the way he plays football after Robert Woods. So it's stuff like that where the impact is felt beyond just his time with the Rams. And I couldn't be more honored to have a player retire with the Rams.
Yeah.
He'll probably not be a Hall of Famer, but he's definitely going to be one of those Rams players that you remember and cherish, that you got to watch for years and years to come. So really happy for him.
Absolutely. Oh, I didn't see that about Cooper. I'll have to look that up. But the thing I love about Robert Woods is that there were so many key moments on and off the field that were just memorable. And it showed like what a true high character football player is, and also having a ton of talent to go with it. Some of the best hands we've seen in the past, 10 years in the NFL. And I know he's had a bunch of stops, post playing for the Rams. He was drafted by the Bills in the second round, comes to the Rams in 2017, is a huge part of the turnaround of the Rams franchise. But I actually remember, do you remember when he got traded to the Titans? It was the first time I ever did like a depressing live stream.
Yeah.
I had just like this like emo music playing, and I was just like reading the chat being like, life sucks, this is terrible. Why? And it's because we cared about him so much, right? And still bummed out we never got to see Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Odell Beckham Jr. What could have been. But glad he got the Super Bowl ring, with the Rams, even though he was injured in it. But I see some people. We got Edwin, emphasis on the win, saying Robert Woods was the first jersey I got my kids. Oh, that's a good jersey. Yeah. So glad he got to retire at LA Ram. Love you, Bobby Trees.
Yeah.
And Walt Knights, Bobby Trees, Rams for life. And Yingen Isaac saying, Rams house. I've been a silent sub for a couple years now. Love the oh, cool.
Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
That's
Those kinds of messages are the best. You guys don't even understand. It's like we do this, like, yeah, it's work at the same time, but we do it for fun as a hobby. Love talking about it. So I'm glad that you guys can find some enjoyment out of it. But yeah, I mean, Robert Woods, he brought us so much enjoyment with the Rams. He was such a complete player, and similar to a lot of receivers with the Rams, especially in the Sean McVay era, it's not like he was a true speed guy or anything, but he did everything well. And his character, everything he brought to the culture, is one of those guys that it's so easy to fall in love with him, and just so many cool moments that you think back to. But I still remember the story that Cooper Kupp told about, like, Robert Woods and him would always have a goal to be able to get more pancake blocks and good blocks. When they're competing in the film room, they'd see who got more of the better blocks on the team. And that helped to kind of set the culture with those kinds of things, that the Rams love the blocking receivers, and those two would healthily compete for better blocks every week. And it's just like, it's stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it's not the most flashy stuff you can ask for a receiver, but it's stuff that's so important to this offense, and it helps build a culture. It helps set an example for future receivers. And we've seen that come through a bunch of different receivers now. So happy for him. I actually have Cooper Kupp's little note that he sent out here today about Robert Woods. Yeah. He said, incredible career, worth its weight in just sheer productivity, but holds its greatest value in the people that have benefited from being your teammate and learning the game from you. Played the game the right way, whatever what that means, but it means something to me because I just try to do exactly what you do. Always will appreciate you, Bobby Trees. So that was cool to see. Just like to have a guy like Cooper Kupp be like, that's the guy that I was modeling after. And we know what Cooper Kupp's turned into, how much of a class act he is. He was reflecting what Robert Woods was. And that was the guy he really leaned on when he got drafted with the Rams. So I think back to the NFC Championship game against the Niners after that was done, and when it was like, this is deeper than football. They were hugging in midfield and all of that. Just so many memories. So appreciative of Robert Woods for sure.
Absolutely. I see Mr. Doinks 11. Great username. Great name. Say the play that will always stick out to me that Bobby Trees made was 3rd and 33, and he took that screen to the house. Yeah, I had a hard time remembering this yesterday, but yeah, it was against the Giants, right?
Yeah,
it was in New York,
and it was a blowout win. Yeah,
it was the 3rd and 33, and Bobby Trees just takes the screen pass to the house.
Which is crazy again, because like you don't look at him and be like, oh yeah, he's some super flashy athlete like a Jamar Chase or something like that. But he just had that competitive spirit. And again, he was just so complete, so fun to watch. I keep thinking about that one against the Texans, that deep post route, like 99 yards in the Coliseum. That was a really fun one. But yeah, I mean, I wish he could have played all his years with the Rams. It obviously had to come to an end. And who really knows what that trio would have looked like with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., Van Jefferson as the 4. Like, who knows? But we still got a Super Bowl for him, and I'm very glad about that.
And full credit. I know he got injured that year, but his contributions early in that season, Rams don't win the division that year without Robert Woods. Let's make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
Edwin saying that crazy game against the Chiefs and Woods was celebrating with rapper YZ was epic.
That was classic. Jumping on the tables and all of that.
Yeah.
That was super cool. Yeah, glad he retired with the Rams. But there's been, again, a lot of other stuff that has happened since we were last live. And I'm just curious to get your opinion. Right now, the Rams are the last remaining team to not have an official offensive coordinator designated yet. And all of us, I think, just assume that Nate Scheelhaus, the guy who's been in-house with the Rams and got some head coaching job opportunities, we assume he's going to be the offensive coordinator. But the Rams also brought in Cliff Kingsbury from the Commanders, which I'm actually excited about. Yeah. But we also don't know what his role is. What are your whole thoughts on this offensive coordinator situation, as it's still not technically resolved? But do you think that there's going to be any outside move that they do, or do you think they have everybody in-house to be able to promote from within and get the offensive coordinator figured out there?
That's a really good question. I personally think Cliff Kingsbury will be the offensive coordinator.
Really?
I could be totally wrong about that. Just for me, and nothing against Nate Scheelhaus at all. I just feel like if you're going to bring in Cliff Kingsbury, who, we already know had a relationship with McVay, I think Cliff Kingsbury wants another opportunity to be a head coach again, which the best job, to get an opportunity to do that is be a coordinator for Sean McVay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like that would have leaned into it, but you never know. What do you think?
Yeah, I tend to believe that it'll be Nate Scheelhaus still as offensive coordinator. I think Sheriff Joe Bags made a great point earlier in the week when he said the Rams kind of have everybody in their building right now that they could have to promote. They wanted to collect everybody they could, get all of them in there, and then from that point, okay, let's establish roles like
Yeah.
down the line. I think that's going to happen. I think that Cliff Kingsbury is going to have a big say on the offense, and he's going to be in some sort of role. I don't know what his label will be. He could be offensive coordinator for sure. But I think with just how much buzz Scheelhaus is getting across the NFL for coaching jobs, and he's this young, has been rising among the ranks with the Rams for a while, I expect him. But honestly, Kingsbury wouldn't surprise me at all. And I mean, offensive coordinator, it kind of gets dismissed when you have an offensive coach like McVay, like, oh, yeah, like we have an offensive coordinator or whatever. But I mean, they still play a big role in collaborating and making the game plan. So whoever it is obviously isn't going to be calling the plays. But I do like the voices that are in the Rams building right now to be able to help construct game plans. And that Cliff Kingsbury hire, I really like with all the different wrinkles he can bring in the experience from the past. So overall, I still expect Scheelhaus, but I would not be surprised if it was Kingsbury or somebody else in the building.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. And I think that's one of the cool parts about the Rams, more so than most teams in the NFL, because they often have to, focus on coaching hires after the playoffs are complete.
Yeah.
But say what you want, they keep finding guys that do the job well, right? And so
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see once those roles are kind of finalized how it all plays out. I do think that Cliff Kingsbury, one of the value of bringing him in is because he can challenge Sean McVay on a football intellectual level, right? They can he can say, yeah, Sean, like, no, we shouldn't do that, or affirmative, right? Like can kind of do he can talk X's and O's with Sean McVay, which I think that was one of the value that Mike LaFleur brought to the offensive coordinator position. And so it is interesting seeing, Mike LaFleur goes become the Cardinals head coach and the Rams bring in former Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury.
That is interesting, that whole dynamic here. But we saw like the last couple times when the Rams are looking offensive coordinators that they actually looked towards Cliff Kingsbury in the last couple of years. So it doesn't surprise me. I think it was only a matter of time. Like obviously he's friends with McVay and all of that. But it's going to be interesting to see. I definitely think that whatever role he gets put into, I think he's going to add a lot of value to the offense. And I'm excited just because I think he's going to add some layers that are a little bit different than what we've seen. Yeah. And that gets me excited about it. But overall, like, again, last time we did this was before the Stafford announcement that he's coming back. I think a lot of people assumed that he was, but Stafford is returning for this season. And there's just this feeling, at least for me, that the Rams are going to make some splashes in this offseason, and that because Stafford is coming back, you have that limited window of, okay, how much longer is he going to play at this MVP level in general? You have some big contracts coming out to be able to give out. You have the cap space. You haven't really spent a lot in free agency in past years. I think this could be an opportunity for the Rams to go all in again, make some big moves, and even Les Snead talked about that, striking while the iron is hot. So before we get into like kind of more of what you think the offseason needs are for the Rams, do you see the offseason that way of like, okay, this is going to be one of those that the Rams really go out to try to attack some positions aggressively, maybe make some bigger moves than what we've seen in the past few years to help set them up for a Super Bowl?
I anyone who watches my channel knows I am an optimist, but I think they're cooking up something. I think
I am too.
I don't know if it's going to be a couple of moves or one big move, but I do feel like it is a big thing. Like every year, there's always some sort of big move the Rams make in the offseason. I feel like last year signing Devontae Adams was that big move. This year, who knows? Who knows? But I feel like something is cooking in that Les Snead laboratory.
Yeah. I like this comment here from Edwin.
Yeah.
Let's see this. Let's see off the picture. That's what I'm kind of thinking. It's like it could be a myriad of free agency moves, like some big contracts they give out because they have space in future years. But it could be that coupled with a big trade. We've talked about Max Crosby a lot before. I just have a feeling that it's like, okay, the Rams know the window that they're in. They've done it before. Why not go out and make that big splash move? Because I mean, the last 2 years, the Rams have been close to winning the Super Bowl. They've been like yards away against the defending Super Bowl champions. And so it's like, do they really need that much more? I don't really know if they need like a ton more, but I wouldn't turn down bringing in big time talent aggressively. And I say this all the time, like you could be sad at the end of the season that you lose, let's say the Super Bowl or a big game in some sort of way after going all in and be like, well, we at least did our best, put everything forward. It didn't work out, rather than, in my opinion, it'd be more annoying if it's like, man, the Rams just didn't make any kind of moves to improve. And I feel like that would be a worse feeling. So if it backfires, it backfires, but I'm all for going all in again.
Yeah. Can I can we start, can we collectively, can we start a rumor here on this show?
Okay. I'm for it.
Okay. I've been saving this for this show. I actually thought of this last week, and I was like, oh, you know what? I want to save that for First Down Rams. I have not heard anywhere else say this. Okay. I have no connections to the NFL. I have not seen anywhere post about this on the internet, but here on First Down Rams, Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, I want to start a trade rumor. I don't know if this is considered a blockbuster trade, but I think it'd be a big trade. Okay, are you ready for my rumor I'm starting? Okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And not based in facts, just based in my selfish ambitions as a Rams fan. The Rams are going to trade for Titans wide receiver Chimenray DK.
Really? I was not thinking you'd go there.
Yeah, I would. Dude, think of it. We need like no offense to Xavier Smith, but like, can we upgrade the position of punt returner and kick returner?
Mm-hmm.
Is DK on a team that's rebuilding?
Yeah.
And I know the Titans, they probably aren't going to give him out, but he's 24 years old. I'm just saying, I think this would be an excellent move by the Los Angeles Rams to trade for someone like DK. What are your thoughts on this rumor I'm starting here and now?
It honestly surprised me. I had no idea you were going to go this route, but honestly, I wouldn't be mad at it as long as they didn't give up a ton. I'd be surprised if the Titans traded him away because I think he was only a rookie last year. So I think this would be his second season. So I'd be kind of surprised in that sense, but he is a pretty dynamic player. And I think he had a punt return against the Rams back in when we played the Titans and it got called back from some sort of flag. So if he can add that kind of stuff and the Titans are willing to part ways, I'd be all for it. I wouldn't see this coming in anyway, but if you're right, I'm not mad at it.
So he was a 4th-round pick last year. He, in terms of receiving, 48 receptions, 423 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that's just receiving. In his, let's see I have his stats here. Give me a second. Oh no, I don't want to watch that ad. Sorry. Okay. In terms of, they don't actually give it on football. Okay. I'll look that up. It doesn't say his return yard, but he was a dynamic returner. And I can't help but look at, what Seattle did when they traded for Shaheed in season. What a big trade for them, right?
Seriously, yeah.
Why can't the Rams do something like that? Why are we looking for players in the draft or undrafted free agents to be our return ace? Let's get someone like DK.
Honestly, we'll see what happens. I'd be surprised if they traded him away, but if the Rams make any sort of move at that punt returner, kick returner position, any like dynamic player there, Shaheed still could be available, but I imagine the Seahawks bring him back. Yeah. I would not be mad at it at all. I mean, I don't think you really need like dynamic special teams to be able to win Super Bowls. You just need ones that don't mess things up. But that doesn't mean I'd be mad if the Rams greatly improved their special teams. And I mean, in that kind of same vein here, what are like some of your biggest offseason needs, in your opinion, for the Rams to be able to attack? I assume returner is on there, but
Yeah.
what are some other other
Well,
ones that you see?
there's that new rumor out there that the Rams are going to trade
There
for
is
yeah, they
that
just
leaked out of the organization, right?
I can't confirm that at all because
Can't confirm or deny.
it definitely leaked out of my brain anyway.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the rumor that I want to start. If that trade actually happens, you heard it here first on First Down Rams. Yeah, I am a proponent of, I would love our special teams to not be, I would love for the special teams philosophy to change of like, okay, just don't lose us the game, to like, I would hope that the Rams special teams could be a factor in them actually winning some games, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think back to when the Rams had like Johnny Hecker
Yeah.
and Matt Gay, like that, like they were huge pieces to them winning the Super Bowl in 2021, right? And so I would love if we could get back to that. Bubba coming in as a new special teams coordinator, I hope that helps improve it. But also the elephant in the room, the Rams secondary, right? We have a lot of, I think we only have 2 corners that aren't free agents. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yes.
So
yeah,
and like, okay, let's start with this. Do you think the Rams bring back Kobe Durant?
No.
Do you think they bring back Roger McCreary?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was same page for both those.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What about, do you think Darius Williams, even though he's under contract, do you think he gets cut?
I do think he gets cut.
Do you think Emmanuel Forbes is back?
Yeah, he's still on contract. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Akello, no.
Yeah, I was about to say with Akello. So already, that's going to be a dramatically different cornerback room than what the Rams have had in last year, right? And so I don't know if they sign someone, trade for someone, go through the draft. I know like every Rams fan out there is like saying, use both first round picks on the corner.
Yeah, I definitely want them to attack the cornerback room from a perspective of getting guys in free agency. And if there's a cornerback you really like in the draft, add that on top for now and the future. But like, I'm all for the people that want Jamel Dean or Monteric Brown or any of these kind of top tier corner, because the cornerback class in free agency, there's not like Jalen Ramsey sitting around in there, but there really never is. But there's some really high quality cornerbacks that the Rams can add, and some cornerbacks that fit really well into what we're trying to do. And I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of Rams fans have seen it. The Trent McDuffie trade rumors are flying around right now. So I do think that there's going to be at least one cornerback signed in free agency that would be like a staple piece that they'll have in there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they addressed cornerback in the draft. For some reason, I have a weird feeling that like they get cornerback later on as depth players behind there. But for some reason, I feel like they're going to value receiver really high. And even though they don't technically need it right now, I could see them going that way. But yeah, cornerback is definitely something. Snead said it, that they're going to be attacking that in the offseason. And I do expect to see some pretty big moves in free agency, and maybe in the first round we spend it on a cornerback, but I'll have to see to believe it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it going back to, the like re-signing like Roger McCreary, I don't think they make the trade with the Titans if they didn't have intent of signing him this year. So I think he's back, Manuel Forbes back. But yeah, like what's this room going to look like? For the past couple of years, the Rams have kind of been like, hey, let's get the discount bargain bin. And they have had some good play from that end, right? It just hasn't necessarily been the most consistent play for the Rams secondary. So I see Sincere like sports. He's saying, put me in his corner. I can cover. Okay.
Try him out in OTAs, training camp.
Yeah,
We'll see how he does.
send in your footage,
Yeah.
to
Get the smooth, quick hips, being a fluid athlete. I mean, that's what we're looking for here. But yeah, it is interesting. I think that like the Rams cornerback room that they had this year could have looked a lot better if the Rams pass rush was as dominant as we were expecting and as consistent as we were expecting. And there were times where the Rams pass rush won quickly and there was just a guy wide open. And it's like the pass rush can't do much about that. But I do think that it could have been less of an issue had our pass rush been what we were expecting more consistently, especially down the stretch of the season. It felt like there just wasn't that dominant presence that we had last season at the end. So I will say like that definitely played into it where it's like these with the cornerback room that we had, it wasn't unwinnable to get a Super Bowl. We still almost did it, but your margin for error definitely gets a little bit bigger if you bring in more proven guys, more veteran guys in the secondary. And I wish that we could get a guy that's like a shutdown corner, like a Jamel Dean, and then bring back Kobe Durant because I actually do like Kobe Durant as like a ball hawking corner to play off of a true shutdown guy. I think he actually thrives in that role really well. But I expect Kobe Durant to get a big contract. And I just think that at the end of the day, the cornerback room is going to get shaken up, similar to what the Rams did to attack the run defense after last playoff run, bringing in Landman, bringing in Puna forward. I think we're going to see something like that. Now it's just a matter of, okay, what names are they going to go after in that cornerback room?
Yeah. I see Mr. Doinks is asking this question here. Maybe you tuned up for a bit there, but I did say it. And again, it's a rumor that I started here with no weight to it whatsoever. I can't stress that enough. I think that the Rams should trade with the Tennessee Titans for DK, their return ace and wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. But that's my pipe dream. My pipe dream. I would love the Rams to have a true return ace.
Right? Yeah. I have a question here before we move on, talking about like Rams offseason needs and all of that. Something I keep going back to is like, I have a feeling that the Rams are going to attack an edge rusher position in some sort of fashion or some sort of good pass rusher to bring into this team to just help it be a little bit better. Because I think they had some great moments, but I just think it almost feels like we're missing one guy, which is crazy to say after what they did a couple years ago. But what are your thoughts on all of that? Like whether it be them bringing in a Khalil Mack to be able to pair with the Byron Young and Jared Verse, or some sort of just a good addition as a pass rusher through the draft. I was thinking more so in free agency. There's some good rushers there that are definitely older, but are ready to compete. And obviously that whole Max Crosby thing is a thing in and of itself. But do you agree with the fact that it almost feels like the Rams need another edge rusher, another pass rusher to help us out to be able to just get a little bit more than what we were getting last year?
I love the saying you can never have enough good pass rushers, right? Mm-hmm. So that being said, I like the idea of bringing in a veteran pass rusher. I don't think the Rams will trade for Max Crosby. I'm not in that camp for a lot of different reasons. I think that I don't think Crosby makes the Rams pass rush that much better, though it would make it better.
Really?
Like I think it would make it better. Don't get me wrong, but I think just based on where this Rams young pass rush is right now, I would be more inclined to see them develop Jared Verse, develop Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner, Byron Young. I know Byron Young. He's a bit of an he was drafted as an older player, as you said in your video earlier today. It was a great video.
Thank you.
But I think that adding a veteran player, a Khalil Mack, a Von Miller, or something like that, it would be cool if they're willing to be a rotational guy, right? Like, someone who was, kind of a top tier, pass rusher, and then comes in and plays that veteran mentor role. Because there is something to be said about all season long. We kind of were like, okay, the Rams pass rush, the best football's in front of them. And, we never, I know you and I have talked about it, and Sheriff Joe and Tuna have talked about it. We never really saw them really reach that potential that we saw, right?
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of leaning. Like, I see what you're saying with like the older veteran guy who's been there is more of a rotational, like third down pass rusher. And I could totally see that. I think that would still help. I'm still thinking like, what if we got like a Khalil Mack, or what if we got a Max Crosby? I think Max Crosby would actually help the pass rush a ton. Like I think it would
Okay.
elevate it a bunch. But even like these are guys that would be expensive and would be an all-in move. But even like I talked about in my video, like Trey Hendrickson,
Yeah.
if you give him a contract like that, that's a legitimate edge rusher on the opposite end. And I just think like I'm just very curious to see what that would look like. I think that that would really put the league on notice for what we could do. The Rams showed so many good flashes in that first year with the baby fearsome foursome, as they called it. And part of me wonders is like, was that just kind of natural regression that happened with the pass rush? Was that the cornerback play? But I also am like, did other opposing offenses sort of figure out there because they do a lot of stunts and different things along the defensive line that isn't just like straight up pass rush, just go and win. So if they got a guy who could just go and win, like a Hendrickson, Crosby, Khalil Mack, to have everybody else in their roles, I think that would just almost complete everything. I don't think that if the Rams don't do any move on the edge or bring in another pass rusher, I don't think that means that the Rams just aren't going to win a Super Bowl all of a sudden. I just think that like I just get curious what that could look like if they could do something like that.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And who knows, right? Who knows? The off season is just beginning, and I think we'll learn more once the new league year starts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get some answers pretty soon. I agree with Edwin though. It says, can someone see if AD wants to come back yet? Let's yeah, maybe if we get all the Rams fans on it, maybe we can get them to come back. But
You know what? We could start that rumor too. Like if
that rumor's already out there.
yeah, true. Okay, fair. I guess we didn't start that one.
Yeah. But are you good to get into some segments? Are you good if I start here with
Yeah,
the over Rams action?
let's
I
do
wasn't
it.
planning on doing over Rams action Wednesday. I was planning something else, but we're back here with over Rams action Wednesday offseason edition part 2. So hope you guys enjoy that. If you guys are new to over Rams action Wednesday, it's basically like what Rich Eisen and Chris Brockman do with their Overreaction Monday podcast. I'm going to be throwing out there some takes revolving around the Rams in this offseason. And it's your guys' job to say if it's a hot take or if it's a fair take. And around here, we call the hot takes over Rams actions. So that's kind of why we got the name there. But starting off pretty general here, pretty simple. The Rams this offseason, as we talked about, it almost feels like they're going to be all in again. They're going to make some big moves through free agency, maybe trades, draft, whatever. They have a lot of ammo to do some really fun things. The Rams will be the offseason darlings this year. Media is going to be talking about it. Everybody's going to be going crazy about the multiple splashes, big trades, a bunch of stuff that they do. They're going to be the talk of the town after this offseason is over with some of the moves that they make. Is that an over Rams action or is that fair?
Ooh, I like it. You're starting off hot. Just looking at overthecap.com. There's a ton of teams with a ton of money.
Definitely more than the Rams too.
Yeah, so like I'm looking at it here. And so the Rams have 44.9, like 45 million in cap, right? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams above them. So, but that being said, out of those 7 teams, you have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Chargers. Those are the only teams that were in the playoffs this year. And yeah, I think that's not an over Rams action. I think the Rams are in a Super Bowl window, and that window does have a shelf life just with Stafford. So yeah, I don't think that's an over Rams action. I think this could be an offseason where the Rams make some big moves for sure.
Yeah, I think we do too. I mean, I will be very curious to see what the Seahawks do because they have like double the amount of cap space that we do after winning the Super Bowl. So you could make a case for them for sure. But, you know, obviously LA, it's a big market. A lot of people talk about when we went all in 2021. I just think that there's going to be those kinds of moves where we might see that topic come back up in the big media of like, they're all in, they mortgage their future for this. But I think there's going to be a lot of people talking after this offseason with, again, yeah, like Edmund mentioned there in the comments that we have 2 first-round picks. We got some cap space. But Youngin says, I get the cap stuff, but who's going to want to go to, say, Tennessee over LA?
Right?
Players should want a championship over money. that motivation is gonna be big. There's also the McVay culture that a lot of people rave about that's helping too. It's definitely a lot better of a environment to come into than like the St. Louis Rams. When I don't know if you ever heard that story about. I don't remember if it was Travis Kelce or Rob Gronkowski that said that he got a call from like Missouri. He thought it was he thought it was the St. Louis Rams, and he just wanted to like hang up. So we're definitely out of that, and it's just going to be so interesting to see what this offseason looks like because it feels like Rams fans are sensing something big's coming.
Yeah.
So we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, Sincere says fair. We got a lot of cap with 2 first-round picks. So we got a lot of possibilities here. All right, number 2. We talked about the cornerbacks. We think that the Rams are going to overhaul the cornerbacks. They're going to make some moves there. And Les Snead said it himself. That is something that they're going to attack. I'm going to say the Rams will sign 2 or more cornerbacks in the first week of free agency.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. Let's hold up. Okay, let's calm down here before we go in this here. The Rams will sign 2 or more cornerbacks in the first week of free agency. Well, let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? You know what? I'm going to say that's an over Rams action because I think it's more likely they sign 1 and trade for 1.
Okay, I can see that.
Because the free agent frenzy, it is a thing. Like that first week of free agency, there's always these, teams that spend a ton of money, especially when they have it. The Rams do have money. So I could see the Rams making moves, and when you look at their roster, they have a need at cornerback. So yeah, I think they sign at least 1, maybe trade for 1. Maybe they sign 2. I personally think that's an over Rams action.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I agree with you. There's going to be at least 1. We all hope it's going to be Jamel Dean or one of those top guys, but we'll see. Maybe the Rams go a different direction. But I would say I'm leaning more on over Rams action in terms of with the way it's phrased of the first week of free agency. I could definitely see the Rams getting 1 in the first week of free agency, maybe drafting 1 and maybe signing 1 later on in free agency, something like that. Because they do have Forbes there too. So we'll see what ends up happening. But we got one. Go ahead.
Could you imagine if the Rams sign Dean and then also trade for McDuffie?
I would love that. That would be like the Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But Edwin says, I wouldn't mind getting Ramsey back on a 1-year deal. You guys know I would love that. I would be all for Jalen Ramsey coming back here. We'll see. I mean, the Steelers could hold on to him just because they just paid him and all of that. But it's a new coaching staff. Maybe they want to get younger. We'll see what happens with all that. But I'd love Ramsey to come back. There's not many crazy corners in free agency at the moment. So it sounds like he's not really fully agreeing with this one. But I think there's a lot of really good quality corners in there, even some underrated guys. I think there's a lot of corners, especially that would go in the first week, that would be better than what the Rams had in the last few years. I think that's pretty fair, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
This one, a tiny bit complicated if you think about it too much, but number 3.
Great start.
Rams,
great start.
Yeah, little tee off there. The Rams will dish out a contract that is larger in number in terms of like average annual value, the classic big numbers that they put out there. They're going to dish out a contract that is larger in number with that than their number of first-round draft pick, like the 13th overall pick. It's going to be more than $13 million average annual. They're going to have at least one of those contracts that's given out that's going to be more than the 13th overall pick.
Well, let's think about that because I'm going to actually I don't think that's no Rams action at all. Would the Rams have money to spend? There's some players that would like to get that money. And the Rams have not been a stingy organization by any means, right? If anything, the Rams are more known for overpaying players.
True.
So yeah, I'm going to say that's not an over Rams action at all.
Okay, I'm with you there. I think that they make some sort of big. If they bring in a guy like Dean or Mike Evans, like people are throwing out there, I think that could actually happen. Both of those would be over $13 million a year. Yeah. And that's essentially what this question is saying is will they give out a contract like yearly that pays more than $13 million. That's essentially what the question is. So I'm in agreement with you there. David says Kenneth Walker to the Rams. I've been seeing him say this a lot. I mean, I'm good with Kyren Williams and Blake Corum, to be honest.
David, I commend you because you've been commenting on my videos and I think Rams's videos about this. So David is all in on this Kenneth Walker. And I don't know if the Seahawks would let it happen, but that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Before we move on here, this is a good question. He says, are we going to sign Reek Woolen? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think that Seattle team, they have cap to spend as well, and he's been a good player for them. I think they want to do everything they can to keep that team together.
I think that the Seahawks are going to let him go. I think they like their corners at that. There's also like a bunch of rumors about them getting Marlon Humphrey because him going back with Mike McDonald, he was at the parade and all of that. I actually think they're going to let Reek Woolen walk somewhere else. I don't fully think he's going to come to the Rams, but I understand that being an option just because of the physical abilities that he has. But that's what I see. Before we move on to the last two, Edwin says, I could see us waiting until the season starts, and when the Raiders keep losing, it's going to be another Von Miller situation getting Crosby at the trade deadline. That's a good point you make there, too. It's like, my question is, like, would you get into such a bidding war at that point where everybody knows he's available and the price just keeps going up? It would be nice to get it done before the season starts, but getting him either way, I'd be thrilled about. But good comment there. Speaking of Max Crosby, trading, okay, this one's worded weird in here, but trading 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby is more important than the Rams using both the first-round picks this year in terms of just standard selections.
You're making me think. Trading the first round pick for Max Crosby is more important than using both of them this year. I'm going to say that's no Rams action. Yeah, I believe. I don't think it's crazy to think the Rams trade away both those first round picks, but I just think that if you're going to trade them both away for Max Crosby, I don't see them doing that. Like, I could see them more inclined, trading one of them to, get a corner or along those lines. I don't see them trading 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. Personally, those are my thoughts. So I'm going to say that's no Rams action.
That's a good point. I could definitely lean there on that way for you because, I mean, you could get legitimate starters that could play for years and years to come, and that 13th overall pick is pretty valuable for where it sits. You would have a better chance of getting a guaranteed player rather than just coin tosses on players, but it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the Rams potentially could do their 29th pick and then next year's first-round pick. Because that's kind of where I feel with the 2 first-round picks that we have this year. I feel like we're going to use our first-round pick at number 13 from the Falcons and just draft a player there and then trade away the 29th to trade back or trade for a player. I don't think we're going to use both of them, but I can understand where you're coming from there for sure.
Yeah.
And is this hard pass? We need those picks, at least one of them. So he's kind of with you there. I totally see that.
Same page, Isaac.
Yeah. I mean, we as Rams fans have been without a first-round pick for how long? We are used to it. Oh, I see what he says. We are used to it. As long as we get good players, I'm okay with it. I'm with you there too. I mean, if you can get a guaranteed really good player and that's the player that puts you over the top, I'm okay with it either. And there is a unspoken rule under Sean McVay. If you're going to use a first-round pick, it's got to be a Jared. Or Sean McVay didn't even draft Jared Goff, but we had Jared Goff and then Jared Verse drafted in the first round. So is there any good Jareds in the first round? I guess that's the real question here. We need some Dodger money. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. The last one here. This one's very, very juicy here. It's more likely that the Rams use a first-round pick this year on a wide receiver or an edge than it is that they use a premium draft pick on a quarterback in the next 5 years in the draft.
It is more likely the Rams use a first-round pick on a wide receiver or edge rusher this year than it is They use a premium draft. Okay, so I see what you're doing here. Okay, so you're under the impression the Rams are not going to draft a quarterback this year with either of those first round picks,
or in the next 5 years.
or the next 5 years. Like I could see both happening, but we're gonna pick a lane here. I'm gonna say I see, but I don't think they take a receiver in the first round.
It feels so Rams to me to do that.
Really?
Like just because, yeah, you have Puka Nacua who's about to get paid. Devontae Adams will be on his last year. He's going to probably be leaving after this year. The Rams value receiver in general. If you get a top tier receiver, like the people are saying in the chat, like a Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson, like there's really good receivers.
Yeah.
McVay would love to have 3 great receivers, and then you get a cheap receiver for the next 4 years.
5
with a 5th-year option. And so that it feels very Rams to me, even though like cornerback was such a big need and everybody's going there. How much does McVay love weapons, like wide receiver and edge?
Yeah.
To me, it feels way more likely that the Rams do that than they actually draft a quarterback with a premium pick in the next 5 years under McVay.
You know what? You talked me into it. I'm with you.
Let's go. We did it.
Yeah, I was skeptical, but yeah, no, I could see that, especially because like everyone's thinking like, oh, the Rams are going to take a corner. It's so Rams to be like, actually, we just want to keep making our offense super good.
Yeah, and it makes sense from a team building perspective to be like, let's get a great trio right now of receivers with, let's just say they get Lemon with Devontae and Puka. Like Lemon's getting comparisons to like Puka and JSN and all that. Like he's looking like he'd be really good. So it makes sense for now to just get more and more weapons, but then to be like, okay, Devontae Adams leaves in free agency next year. Okay, you have the guy sitting right there that was drafted in the first round that already got experience. Like it makes a lot of sense from that perspective too. Yep. But knowing McVay, he wants a premium wide receiver weapon, and we will get Joe Burrow after Stafford hangs it up. I didn't see the Joe Burrow part. I could definitely see that for sure. Picking Lemon, another one. And then, yeah, Puka, Tay, and maybe Lemon would be crazy. What defense is stopping that? I agree with that. And I mean, there's a lot of good receivers even outside of just Lemon. So, again, it feels very Rams to me. But this is also where my head is at here from Edwin. He says, don't forget Payo. McVay tried getting McMillan, Brock Bowers. McVay loves his weapons. So
You're right.
And Loveland. I think he tried to get Loveland too, if I remember correctly, but he went too early. But we'll see what happens. That was the last one of Over Rams Action offseason number 2 edition. But I know that you got more planned for than just this. So thanks for playing along with that.
No, those are great. Thanks for bringing those. And everyone's used to me doing what's more likely, but it's just the Rams. Not saying that's not going to come back. I want to try something different tonight. All right. I have 2 fun little games, let's call them. And Rams House does not know what is going to happen here. And so I am going to give these 2 kind of scenarios. And we'll start with the first one, then the second one, because that's how, math works. And then you in the chat, feel free to, pipe in of where you think this should happen. So the first one, rank these Rams wide receivers without knowing who comes next. 1 to 5. Okay.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I am. I'm also kind of nervous. I know that these can turn out crazy, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So 1 being like your top 1, 5 being your like not top 1. So first one, Robert Woods.
So we have 1 to 5, you said?
Yeah.
I'm going to put him 4, but I don't feel great about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Torrey Holt.
That's a good one. Let's go 2.
2? Okay. 2 for Torrey Holt? Really at 2? Okay.
I'm worried that you're gonna pull something out crazy.
Okay. Tutu Atwell.
Oh wow. I didn't think we'd go there at 5. Actually, oh man. I'm worried you have another one that's like a smaller name. Yeah, I have to do 5. I'm not going to put him above Woods.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So you have Torrey Holt at 2. Then you have Robert Woods at 4. Tutu Atwell at 5.
Yep.
Puka Nacua.
Oh gosh, this is good. So it's either going to be at 3 or 1.
Yeah.
What would be the last person you pick? You could go Isaac Bruce. You could go. Oh, I don't know what you're going to pull. I'm going to put Puka Nacua at 1, but I'm worried.
Okay. Puka Nacua at number
what you're
1.
going to say next.
Isaac Bruce.
Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind it a ton.
Okay.
It's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
I was worried that you're gonna pull like Lance McCutcheon or something and just throw it in there. It's like Lance McCutcheon over Woods, but like right behind it. So like, yeah, Puka probably shouldn't be one on that list, but I'm honestly not too mad about it based on it being a blind ranking.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think you did all right on that. Good job. Well done.
Thank you. That was kind of stressful.
Yeah, I love how Isaac Bruce won by miles. Yeah,
I was like, are you gonna pull out a no-name guy or are you gonna pull out Isaac Bruce? That's the fun of the game.
That is the fun of the game. Yeah, okay.
Because what if I put Puka at 3, Torrey Holt at 2, and you're like Lance McCutcheon and McCutcheon's at 1? It's like I had to play it safe, but
well, you thought I was gonna say Tavon Austin.
I did too. I was wondering if that was gonna come up.
Oh, I'm sure Tavon Austin will show up in another one of those. That was fun. Okay, I got one more scenario for you guys. Again, I'm a bit of an oddball here, so let me be a bit of an oddball here. Okay, so build your zombie apocalypse survival team with Rams without knowing who comes next. You need a leader, a medic, a navigator, a distraction, and muscle. Okay. So first up, Les Snead.
Okay. What do you mean by leader, first off? Just want to get that fully clarified.
The leader of the team.
Okay. I think that makes most sense to be less than at leader.
Les Snead at leader? Okay. You're trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. You think Les is the guy to lead this team?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see him being a medic. Navigator, maybe. I feel like he would get lost more than anything if he was navigating. Distraction. But yeah, I feel good at him at leader.
Okay. That's fair enough. Locking in Les. Okay, cool. Matthew Stafford.
Navigator all day.
Navigator.
Yeah. I think he would know roads insanely well.
Okay, yeah. Surviving a zombie apocalypse. Okay, cool. Sean McVay.
I'm gonna go distraction. I think he'd actually distract so well.
Distraction. So like a horde of zombies are coming, and you're gonna have Sean McVay distract them somehow.
Oh yeah, I feel so confident in that too.
Okay, fair enough. Puka Nacua.
Oh, that would. So we got medic
and muscle.
Gosh, I don't see him being very good at being a medic, so I have to put him in muscle. But I'm scared that you're going to pull like Aaron Donald or something next. So I'll put Puka at medic or not muscle.
A muscle, okay, and that means your medic will be Jared Verse.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel as confident about that one as the last one. That one, I mean,
I thought Les Snead would probably be the better navigator, and I think Puka would be the better distraction personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know Puka was coming. That one would be a really good distraction. I still feel good about McVay being a distraction, but navigator, like, are you talking about like driving on roads, knowing where to go, like that kind of thing? Or
trying to navigate away from the zombies.
I feel good with Stafford there still, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. That's cool.
But Verse definitely should have been muscle. Puka definitely should have been distraction. But I mean, I didn't know it was coming.
Well, dude, thanks for playing. That was a lot of fun.
That was really fun, actually. I should do one of these on you next time.
Yeah, no, we will definitely experiment throughout. And thanks everyone for commenting. I see what you guys. Edwin thinks McVay the navigator, Stafford the leader. I could see it. Yeah.
I would probably put it that way if if I had seen it ahead of time.
So
But
that's the fun of it, right?
that's the fun of it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the fun of it, this has been a lot of fun hanging out tonight with you, Rams House, and of course, all of you watching with us live or on the replay. Thanks for tuning on in. And yeah, Rams House, do you have anything in the workshop coming out?
Yeah, a lot of off-season related videos I've been making recently.
Cool.
Can probably expect more of that. Just news-related videos, things I expect to happen. The NFL never sleeps. You could be like, "Oh, this is a great day," and big news drops. So be on the lookout for that. But honestly, just talking Rams 24/7. How about you?
I want to edit out those little like games that we just played here, so that'll be fun. And anyone, if you can go watch that and like it and share it with friends, that'd be cool because it helps people find the show. But I also think I'm hoping to have. I'm trying to do at least one video a week. I'm in the process of moving, but I'm hoping at least one video a week that comes out either Monday or Tuesday. So we'll kind of go with that.
Okay, I'm excited to see it. Excited to see what you have cooking up here in the off season. But thank you everybody who joined tonight too. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Edwin ending us with no better comment than this. He said, "Thank you both for all this. Had an awesome time. Go Payo, go Rams House, go Bobby Trees, go Rams, and of course, go Sheriff Joe too." So appreciate all of you guys being in here tonight. Had a lot of fun doing this. Even though it's the off season, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So stay tuned on both of our channels for all of that. As always, though, horns up and God bless. And Payo, what do you have to say?
Go Rams. Oh, wait, horns up. You messed me up with yours. You messed me up. Horns up and peace out. I messed up.
Let's go Rams.
Let's go Rams. Yeah.